It is July 30th, 2023, and the game plan today is to mow this food plot. And so, this was planted last fall, and I haven't done anything with it this spring. And we've had kind of a drought here, and I got sandy soil, but the weeds have provided some nutrition for the deer, as well as allowed some of the nutrients to stay in the plants, which in turn, after I mow, will break down and return back into the soil. So we'll get this mowed. Probably gonna end up spraying that as well, but what I want to see is some new growth after the mowing before we spray, and then we can come back in here and plant our fall food plot. So we got the plot mowed, and this stuff will break down and provide nutrients, which will be beneficial for the soil. And I am going to fertilize, but what I'm fertilizing with is 0060, also known as potash. And unlike nitrogen, that stuff can sit on the soil. It really doesn't travel too much, and it's not going to volatilize like nitrogen can if you don't work it into the soil or get a rain soon. So that's going to be the next step. I did install a utilization cage here in the plot, and we got some winter rye growing in there and some soybeans and a few weeds, but anyway, so we'll be able to see how much height difference there is between inside and outside of the cage. And this is a good thing to put down when you're planting, because sometimes people will say, oh, the seed was bad, it didn't germinate, and things like that, and those all might be true, but it could just be the deer have overbrowsed it. So this way you can get a good idea of what the plants could have done if they weren't destroyed by the deer or used by the deer. And the other thing it can tell you is if the heights are going to be the same inside and outside the cage, well, what you planted maybe isn't the most desirable, at least at that time, for the deer. So we'll follow up on this at a later date. And if you look closely, you can see how this winter rye is already being browsed on. We got pretty good growth here and a nice size plot. There's the blind with the trail camera, so I don't have to walk in to the field to check that, so I can check that while I'm hunting. And we got some apple trees, but these aren't necessarily quite to the same level as some of my other apple trees as of yet. They just need more time. And I did top seed this a couple days ago with more winter rye, because there are some bare spots in here, as you can see, like here, and those are starting to pop already because we've gotten a couple inches of rain, and it's been misting for the last 2 days after I threw it down, besides the rain. So, and I also fertilized this right before the rain to help keep it growing and keep it healthy. But this plot has deer in it every night, even with a lot of the acorns that are falling. Here we have a utilization cage, and we got winter rye in here and some soybeans. And again, these soybeans were planted the same time as winter rye, so they weren't for pods, they were just to give the deer a little bonus, plus I had some laying around. So, but we can see how tall that is, and then we go outside of it, and you can see the deer are keeping it mowed down pretty tight, and I'm not seeing any soybeans left at this point. So a utilization cage is just another tool to give you an idea of how much usage your plot is receiving, as well as are your seeds doing okay? Did they actually germinate? Are they high quality? And what could have they been if they weren't being utilized by the deer? So I hope this helps.